Hey divas, welcome back to Women Unleash, where our inner strength meets unapologetic confidence. My name is Buki, and you're welcome to our transformative journey of self-discovery, of purpose, and of power. In this group, what our main foundation is about loving ourselves, being kind to ourselves, rediscovering our purpose, and walking into that light. Good. So we're in our ninth month. In the past 8 months, we have been learning, we have been growing, we have rediscovered ourselves. Some of us have cried, some of us, we've broken barriers, you've stepped out of our comfort zone. We've rediscovered our whys, we've rediscovered who we are. We're beginning to put things into place, to become that woman that we desire to be. And in this month 9, our topic will be embodiment. Now, we are becoming we want to embrace the woman. I don't know about you, but by now you should be seeing, all the work that you have put in the past 8 months coming, to alignment, becoming, that woman that yes is now yes and no is no. The woman that cannot be put down, the woman that once was not bold enough, was not confident enough, but now you can face your challenges. Now you're more confident. Now you can, you can go in there, accept, criticism, without feeling rejected. A woman that can speak to yourself, and not feel guilty. Somebody that, you've applied for that job and you celebrate yourself even when you didn't get it. But because, years ago, you didn't even have the opportunity for you to be called for an interview. But woohoo, this is where you are. You've been called for an interview. Your pitch has been asked for. You delivered the speech, which wasn't happening before. You've stepped out of your comfort zone, to become that woman you envision yourself to be. The global makeup artist, the independent woman, the talented writers, and so many other things we've desired to be. But sometimes, the old voice keeps singing in our ears and telling us, oh, you can still make it. Are you sure you're there? Are you sure you're that woman yet? But I want us to learn to speak aloud. Speak your reality. Don't speak your negativity. Don't speak your past. Speak your reality, because you've come too far to give up. You have walked too far, to go back. So keep speaking your reality. Keep telling yourself, who you want to see, who you are in the mirror. I'm a confident woman. I am bold. I do not shrink in the face of adversity. Yes, I have fallen several times. I will yet rise again, and I am rising. I'm making corrections, and I'm embracing the woman I'm becoming. I'm embracing my beautiful self. I'm learning to love myself. I'm kind to myself, because that's the most important part, of becoming, the woman you dream of. You need to be kind to yourself. You need to enjoy the journey. Obviously, like we said, there's been trials, there's been tribulation, there's been temptation on the way, but yeah, here we are 9 months later, still standing, still bouncing. Some people might look at you and say you're becoming arrogant. Sometimes when you see stars, all these are celebrities we talk about, is celebrating, these are, the actresses or the musicians and things, or people go into politics, or they just move into higher space. People might say, oh, she's not talking to us anymore, she's becoming arrogant. No, she's just becoming aligned, because there's some places that you need to step into, and you need to change your circle of friends. You need to learn to set boundaries, which is what you're now doing. Before, you used to let people just walk over you. But people are not happy now, because you're now more confident. You can say no. You can people coming to just come and, have a chat that doesn't, add value to you. And now you're having the strength to tell them, no, not this time. I'm busy. I'm focused. I have things I need to be doing. I don't have time to sit down to gossip. I don't have time, to sit down to be putting other people back. And people feel that, you're being arrogant. No, you're becoming aligned to your vision, to your dream, to your goal, your focus. Think about somebody studying medicine. All the courses are all very difficult, and they all have their own, challenges. But when you're studying medicine, you know how many years you need to put into it. It's not just, when you do your, maybe it's biochemistry, you did first in your first degree. Many people does do their first degree, you do 4 year nursing or engineering, then you're gone, or law school, you're gone. You started your profession, but you want to be a medical practitioner, you want to be a medical doctor. After the 3 years, it's just the foundation. You have not even started yet. You still have another 4 or 5 years to go, and then you have different placements you need to go. You have, different specialties that you still have to go through before you actually become, and have the name doctor title to your name. You see, so when you're going through that journey, sweetheart, maybe when you do your microbiology, BSc microbiology, you had time to be clubbing, to be socializing and be going to parties, just whiling away. But reality begin to set on you when you step into the next state and you begin to cut out things. You begin to cut out, you begin to set boundaries. You begin to protect your time. You begin to protect your mind, what you do, your health, because this is my end goal. I want to be a medical doctor. 5 years more to go. I do not have time to waste. I do not have time to shrink. I can't be explaining myself to people. There's a lot for you to study. There's a lot of self-study. There's a lot of preparedness that you need to do. You don't have that time. But then people look at you and say, oh, she's becoming arrogant. She's not becoming arrogant. She's becoming aligned. She's awakened. She's now telling her new self, this is your destination. This is your focus. You need to be focused. You need to be aligned. You need to keep moving forward. So, sweetheart, I'm very happy for you, of the woman that you have become. This month we'll be talking more about that woman, how to keep staying grounded, how to keep staying grounded, how to keep staying focused, because challenges are still going to come. You don't get to the top of to the pinnacle and think that no, that's the end. No, we need to keep striving. You need to keep getting better. But as we go on the journey, I want you to honor the woman you have become, the man that you have become, the person that you have evolved to be. Appreciate where you have come from and where you are. And if you're just joining us and you say, what are they talking about? I've not even started the journey. Sweetheart, it's not too late. Go back to the beginning, start the journey with us, and begin to retrace yourself. Begin to set your own goals, begin to draw your map, and begin to learn, to be open, to opportunities. Okay. So I said I said, stop thinking about yourself like you are still trapped in the season God already brought you out for. So henceforth, I want you to be speaking in a different language. You need to be speaking about yourself in your reality. Speak your reality. That's why I said, when the old self want to, tell you, oh, Bookie, you're too scared. Bookie, Bookie, you're too much. Bookie, you can't do it. Tell yourself, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Tell yourself, I have grown. Tell yourself, I have evolved. Tell yourself, I'm moving forward. Thank yourself, I'm not emotional. Thank yourself, I protect my peace now. Tell yourself, my time is important to me. I don't, tell yourself, I'm setting boundaries now, and nothing can move me. I'm walking in my reality, Growth may feel uncomfortable, I said, because maturity changes your standards. Healing changes your relationship. Self-awareness changes your decision. And that's what we've been saying. That's why some of these people, you have cut off some people, you have learned to close your mouth. It's not everything you're spilling out. Before, when you're making a plan, you've told everybody in the world. But now, in maturity has said, that, there are some times that you need to cover your cup. In my language, it's a bit shredding. It talks about, just like when you're boiling potato, I use potato is ready like or yam, you cover it, you cover it and you wait for it to be well cooked before you start announcing, that you have cooked it. And sometimes when you're pounding, you're making the mash, the potato is going through all the stress, all the yam is going through all the stress. Nobody knows all the problem, all the stress, that yam or the potato went through. They just see a served table. And that is why it's good for you to document your struggles. Document your struggle, write them down. Write all the things that you're going through. Write how you have become, write you're achieving. Write how you've been able to overcome those hurdles. So that when you have finally embraced who you are, when you have finally become, you have gotten to the pinnacle, which you're still going to keep moving on, because you know, remember I was saying the sky is always our starting point. We know that we are work in progress, because the day you get to your end point, that means you're finished. Your work here on earth is done, but work is never done. So document your progress. Make sure you're documenting, so that when the time comes and you flip back the book, you remember at the beginning of the year we said our life is a book. We are writing a book about us, and when you flip back at the end of your life, you will say, "Yeah, well done, Bukola. Well done for going through this. Well done for enduring. Well done for moving to the end." And this brings me to this. You're going to write a letter. One of the challenge we're going to do this week, we're going to write a letter from our old self to our new self. And one of the things we are going to write is there will be there. I said, write a letter from your old self to your new self. Let your old self acknowledge the pain you survived. Let let her honor the woman you are becoming, and let her say thank you for not giving up on us. Yes, write a special letter to yourself. Honor your journey. Honor the woman you have become. Write and detail those struggles. You know, the last 5 years and the last 8 months, if it's the last 8 months you've been working with us, how you've been able to overcome. Write about how many application letters you have written since you've graduated, you know, how many job interviews you've attended, and all of a sudden you go, you know, the job from the blues. How many times you applied, and none were called, and all of a sudden you got called, and how you celebrated yourself, because you have to celebrate those tiny wins. Celebrate those tiny wins, because remember, it is not perfection. It's not when we get to the end that we want to celebrate. We want to celebrate all those are tiny wins, because it gives you strength, it gives you courage, it gives you confidence. And then you're going to tell yourself, I honor the woman I'm becoming. I no longer hide my growth, because we have grown. We have grown. I honor the woman I am becoming. I no longer hide my growth. Sweetheart, until I see you next week, do not hide who you are. Do not shrink. Do not go down. Keep honoring the journey. Keep embracing yourself. One day at a time. Keep getting better. Keep walking in excellence. Keep walking in grace. And be unapologetic. Love you. See you at the top.